All right, so in the last couple of videos, you guys might have seen this car kind of in the background. So this is a sunburst orange Dodge Caliber SRT4. So this is a buddy of mine named Alex. It's his car. He reached out to me last year, needing some help getting it back together. Basically, he had pieces kind of all over the place. And so I was like, yeah, just got the garage done. We can pull it down here. We can get it, get it pulled in the garage and get started on it. So I think it was October of last year, we drove up to Pennsylvania, got the car on the trailer, drove down to North Carolina, met up with him, got all the other pieces for the car. The story goes, he just didn't have time, man. It was a little bit of everywhere. He was really busy. I get it. I get how it goes. So I was like, yeah, we can help you out. It's no big deal. So we went and got all the pieces, came back here. And if you kind of notice, there's pieces everywhere. Missing an engine in here. Pretty cool what he did though. He left the axles, exhaust manifold, transmission, everything in here. Just pulled out the motor. And speaking of the motor, when we went to get this thing, this was all torn apart. I might have some video, some inventory video that I was taking when I got everything here. But he had the block. He went ahead and got it machined, got everything done to it. He had aftermarket sleeves put in it. He had a nice set of forged internals ready to go in this thing. And so talking with him about his goals and what he wanted to do, we kind of got aligned on what we wanted to get done here. So we went ahead and got a Realtune billet tone wheel to add in the bottom end just to kind of complete the bottom end package. This thing should be solid for whatever he's going to throw at it in the future. It's kind of the same setup I ran, with the exception of the billet tone wheel. I didn't even have that, so he's getting that. But we went ahead and got all that stuff thrown together. We checked all the clearances, got everything set, made sure the rings were good, piston to wall clearance, bearing clearances, everything was good. Went ahead and got the bottom end assembled. From there, we moved on to the head. The head that I went and picked up for this car, something had eaten into it, like eaten the aluminum out of the sealing surface. So I sent him some pictures of that, and I was like, here's what I can do. We can go get a junkyard caliber head, because the base model caliber heads are pretty well the same. Went ahead and picked up a junkyard caliber head, took it to the machine shop, got it all ready to go, cleaned up. We also got him a nice aftermarket valve train to add in here. That's springs, retainers. We even got some aftermarket camshafts we're throwing in. So, I mean, top to bottom, this long block is solid. I don't know what turbo combo he's going to use, but the way I'm going to get it running is with the factory turbo still on this thing. I think he's wanting to go with a big wheel stock turbo, which in my opinion is probably the best setup for a street caliber. You can make 400 or 500 horsepower at the wheels with minimal lag. Back when I did the Realtune big wheel turbo, it made right at 500 to the wheels, and it was insane. So he's got a nice setup going into this car. So kind of an update on where we're at right now. The long block is ready to go in. Everything is finally together. We're back from race week, so we can go ahead and start getting back to work on this car. So the next step, obviously I've got everything laid down on the floor next to it. I've got it close to the order that I'm going to be using it in as I move forward, but really the next big step is to get in this car. I'm going to pull the hood off of it. I'm going to pull the bumper off of it to give me some more room to work. Obviously the intercooler, radiator, anything in the way currently. This is a quick way to do it, I guess you could say. The only thing is it doesn't give you a lot of room to work on stuff. I prefer a lot of room to touch stuff, look at stuff, inspect stuff. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get the exhaust manifold, the turbo out of there. I'm going to pull the axles out of it, the wheels off the front. I'm getting the transmission out of the car. We do have a new clutch and flywheel over here in this box that we're going to be putting on here. New throwout bearing. So basically this entire thing is going to be brand new. He's also got a Realtune billet bleeder valve for the transmission. The name escapes me right now, but it goes inside the transmission before we put it back on. So everything internally will be ready to rock and roll. So all he's going to be doing afterwards is bolt on, tuning, that kind of stuff. So we're gonna get started on this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and start taking a lot of this stuff off just to give me more room, and we'll kind of see how far we can get tonight. I'm actually having to work at night right now because it's so hot during the day. It gets up, mid to high 90s, but then in the garage it's over 100 degrees. We've got heat warnings outside, so trying to work at night when it's kind of cool. So we'll see how far we can get tonight. All right, it's the next day. It is warm again today, let me go ahead and tell you. So if I'm pouring sweat, don't worry about it. It's hot. Last night, I was able to get most of the front end torn apart. I'm rolling around on a chair right now, so if you hear that, my bad. Transmission out, turbo manifold out, all the wiring harness laid back out of the way. So I've got room to work. So the transmission's sitting over here on the ground. And today I'm gonna start working on getting the flywheel and clutch mounted on this thing, trying to pair up the transmission to it, and trying to get this transmission on the long block. That way when I go to put everything back in, it's just one unit. I'm probably gonna try to go from the bottom. I don't know if I'm gonna have to go from the top yet. I'm gonna see how high I can get the car. If I can get the car high enough to slide everything under it and pull it up into place, I'll try that, but if not, we're gonna have to drop it in from the top either way. We're gonna try and get this thing in today. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taking inventory, clutch, flywheel bolts, get all my torque specs ready to go, new throw out bearing, billet bleeder valve, make sure I've got everything I need to assemble everything. I've also got to find the bolts, the bell housing bolts. A lot of this stuff is just here, there, everywhere. Some of it's labeled, some of it's not, so I'm gonna try to track down everything that I need, and then we'll start getting all of this put together. All right, quick update. It started raining outside, so I went ahead and shut the doors. Still have the fans running. I don't know how well you can hear me, but went ahead and got the rear main seal is in, the flywheel is on, torqued down. We've got some Loctite on there too. Just to make sure those bolts don't back out at all. Next step is going to be clutch. So here's what he's got going in. This is a SBC clutch. As you can see there, south pin clutch. I'm not exactly sure what stage he got, but this is looks like a 4-puck disc clutch. We got to make sure that faces the right way, pressure plate side. And this is going to be the flywheel side. We also have the billet bleeder valve that goes in the trans with a new throw-out bearing. We've got our bolts for the clutch pressure plate here. We've got our alignment tool. So I'm going to keep on working. Hopefully we can get ready to get this transmission going on today and possibly even getting this stuff in the car. So I'll come back in a little while and give you an update. All right, just like that. Man, that looks good. That is a solid picture right there. I like that. Now for the fun part of trying to wiggle the transmission onto here and get it bolted up by myself. So wish me and my fingers luck. All right, a couple hours later, this is where we're sitting at. We have transmission on the engine now. I had to do a lot of hunting for some of the miscellaneous sensors and fittings that go on this block, the front and the back of it. But I actually had Gooch's motor over there that I could pull some sensors off of, kind of like donations to the project, I guess. Gooch is going to be getting kind of a different setup anyway, so it's okay to steal some stuff from him, but I'm pretty sure I'm ready to drop this thing in. The only other thing I might add is the water pump because it's on the back. I'm going to wait till the engine is in to put the turbo manifold and the turbo and everything on it. But I might go ahead and get the water pump on there just because it's kind of hard to reach once it's in the car. But I think this thing is ready to wiggle in. To be fair, I'm probably not going to do a lot of recording just because it's me wiggling this thing in here and I don't want to have a camera in one hand and an engine in the other hand. So hopefully the next update is this engine in the car. So we'll see. And just like that, it only took just a few minutes, I swear. Engine transmission is in. All motor mounts tight. Everything's secure. Ready to rock and roll, giving the tools a break for a minute. So that's the biggest part of it, I guess, done. Is engine is built, engine is installed. I'm probably going to end the video right here just so I can get this up, kind of give you guys an update on what I'm working on. Next couple videos, of course, we're going to start getting everything put back on the car bit by bit. I'm gonna start in the back with the manifold and the turbo, kind of the hard stuff to get to. There's also a bracket that goes on the down pipe back there I've got to put on. The axle that slides back in there, the other side axle, all that stuff under and behind is going on first. Then we're going to start working on shifter cables, get the fuel line where it needs to be, start laying out the wiring harness, and then start putting all the accessories back on the front of this motor. And hopefully in the next few days, this thing will be fully assembled, ready to start testing some stuff, make sure stuff works, because this car's been sitting for several years, so we're going to have to test a couple different things before we just fire it up. But in the meantime, that's going to do it for this video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.